In the summer of 2008, the Caucasus region was a volatile tinderbox where ancient rivalries and modern politics collided. The Republic of Georgia, striving to maintain its sovereignty, faced a persistent threat from separatist movements in the breakaway regions of Abkhazia and South Ossetia. The Kodori Valley, a strategic and rugged area in Upper Abkhazia, became the focal point of an intense and suspenseful confrontation. The peace was fragile. Despite a ceasefire agreement, tensions simmered just below the surface. Georgian forces had established a foothold in the Kodori Valley, a move that was viewed with hostility by the Abkhazian separatists, backed by Russia. The valley's rugged terrain and remote location made it both a strategic asset and a challenging battleground. In early August, reports of increased Abkhazian military activity began to filter through to the Georgian command. Major Levan Tsereteli, a seasoned officer with a reputation for courage and strategic acumen, was tasked with fortifying the Georgian positions in the Kodori Valley. His orders were clear: hold the valley at all costs. Tsereteli knew the stakes were high. The Kodori Valley was not just a geographic feature, but a symbol of Georgian resistance and resolve. He rallied his troops, a mix of regular soldiers and local militia, emphasizing the importance of their mission. They fortified their positions, setting up defensive perimeters and preparing for the possibility of an all-out assault. Unbeknownst to Tsereteli, the Abkhazian forces, led by General Sergei Konchaveli, were preparing for a decisive strike. Backed by Russian military advisors and equipped with advanced weaponry, they aimed to reclaim the Kodori Valley and send a clear message to Tbilisi. At dawn on August 9th, the silence of the Kodori Valley was shattered by the roar of artillery. Abkhazian forces launched a coordinated barrage, targeting Georgian positions with ruthless precision. The initial assault was overwhelming, and Tsereteli's men found themselves under intense pressure. Despite the ferocity of the attack, Tsereteli remained calm and resolute. He ordered his men to hold their ground and coordinate their defenses. The rugged terrain, with its steep cliffs and dense forests, provided natural cover and defensive advantages. Georgian snipers, positioned on high ground, picked off advancing Abkhazian troops with deadly accuracy. The battle raged throughout the day, with neither side willing to yield. The Georgians, though outnumbered and outgunned, fought with tenacity and determination. The Abkhazians, driven by a desire to reclaim their homeland, pressed their assault with relentless vigor. As night fell, the battle entered a new phase. Both sides dug in, preparing for the next day's fighting. In the cover of darkness, Tsereteli devised a daring plan to disrupt the Abkhazian advance. He ordered a small detachment of elite soldiers, led by Captain Niko Gabashvili, to infiltrate enemy lines and sabotage their artillery positions. Gabashvili, a veteran of numerous skirmishes, led his men with stealth and precision. They moved silently through the forest, avoiding Abkhazian patrols and laying explosive charges on the enemy's heavy guns. The mission was a success, and just before dawn, the charges detonated, creating chaos and confusion among the Abkhazian ranks. The explosions echoed through the valley, and Tsereteli seized the opportunity to launch a counterattack. Georgian forces, emboldened by the success of the sabotage mission, surged forward, reclaiming lost ground and inflicting heavy casualties on the enemy. The night of deception had turned the tide, at least temporarily, in favor of the Georgians. Just as the Georgians began to gain the upper hand, an unexpected and devastating betrayal occurred. A high-ranking officer within Tsereteli's command, Colonel Georgi Mikaladze, had been secretly collaborating with the Abkhazian forces. Mikaladze provided the enemy with crucial intelligence about Georgian defenses and troop movements. Motivated by a combination of personal grievances and promises of power, on the morning of August 10th, the full extent of Mikaladze's betrayal became apparent. Abkhazian forces, armed with precise knowledge of Georgian positions, launched a renewed and devastating assault. The Georgians, caught off guard and outmaneuvered, struggled to mount an effective defense. Tsereteli, realizing the gravity of the situation, ordered a strategic withdrawal to higher ground. The betrayal had cost them dearly, and the battle hung in the balance. Desperate to stem the tide, Tsereteli appealed to Tbilisi for reinforcements, but communications were sporadic, and help seemed a distant hope. With their backs to the wall, Tsereteli and his men prepared for a final stand. They fortified their remaining positions on the high ridges of the valley, determined to hold out against the advancing Abkhazian forces. The atmosphere was tense, as every soldier knew that the outcome of the battle could shape the future of their nation. The Abkhazians, buoyed by their recent successes, launched a ferocious assault. Waves of infantry and armored vehicles surged up the slopes, met by a hail of gunfire and grenades from the Georgian defenders. The fighting was intense and brutal, with both sides sustaining heavy casualties. Tsereteli, wounded but unyielding, led his men from the front. His presence inspired those around him, and they fought with a ferocity born of desperation and patriotism. Captain Gabashvili, despite sustaining multiple injuries, continued to direct his troops with unwavering determination. As the battle reached its climax, the Georgians received a glimmer of hope. Reinforcements from Tbilisi, though delayed, had finally arrived. Fresh troops and supplies bolstered their defenses, and the tide of battle began to turn once more. In the early hours of August 11th, the Georgian reinforcements launched a coordinated counteroffensive. Utilizing the element of surprise and the advantageous terrain, they struck the Abkhazian forces with surgical precision. The beleaguered Georgian defenders, emboldened by the arrival of their comrades, surged forward with renewed vigor. The Abkhazians, caught off guard and stretched thin, struggled to maintain their momentum. General Kanchaveli, realizing the precariousness of their position, ordered a withdrawal. The battle had turned decisively in favor of the Georgians, but at a heavy cost. The Battle of the Kodori Valley was a defining moment in the conflict between Georgia and the Abkhazian separatists. The Georgian victory, though hard-fought and costly, demonstrated the resilience and determination of a nation striving to maintain its sovereignty. The betrayal by Colonel Mikaladze left deep scars within the Georgian military, serving as a stark reminder of the complexities and internal divisions that can shape the course of a conflict. Major Tsereteli and Captain Gabashvili, hailed as heroes, embodied the spirit of resistance and sacrifice. The battle's legacy endures, a testament to the courage and tenacity of those who fought and died in the rugged terrain of the Kodori Valley. It remains a poignant chapter in the history of the Caucasus, a story of valor, betrayal, and the relentless pursuit of freedom amidst the shadow of war. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to give a like, share, and subscribe to receive notification when we drop new content.